this. All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you.
So this is our morning grounding to get prepared to take care of people, to serve the world with our greatest gifts, and to be ourselves, because our authentic self is the most important self there can be, right? All right, what's today's date?
The 27th.
Oh my goodness, it's almost time for Turkey Day. All right, October 27th. Is this October? Yeah.
No,
November. My mistake. I knew something was wrong with that. Okay, November 27th. Percentages. You can't expect to get a jackpot if you don't put a few nickels in the machine. Flip Wilson. He was a comedian. Would you like to sleep with me? The man in the elevator asked Nancy. Excuse me? Would you like to go to bed with me tonight? What makes you think I want to do that? I don't even know you. I just thought I'd ask. 1 out of 10 people say yes. Regardless of apparent gap in this fellow's integrity, he is onto an important principle. If you keep asking, sooner or later, someone is bound to say yes. While this man is apt to hurt himself and others with his use of percentages, you and I can take these principles and make it work toward the valuable goals that our hearts desires. Posture. If you have a strong and sincere intuition or guidance to accomplish a certain task, somewhere in the universe there is someone who is seeking to help you fulfill it. Many people would come to Hilda's prayer class with intentions of finding homes, jobs, and mates. Hilda would always remind them, your need is connected to someone else's. At this very moment, someone wants to offer the very thing you seek. Know that the divine connection system is always operating. As a humorous application of this principle, one night Hilda asked everyone who wanted to lose weight to stand up. When she asked everyone who wanted to gain weight to, asked everyone who wanted to lose weight to stand up. Then she asked everyone who wanted to gain weight to rise. Then she prayed, may all the weight these people want to release go to the people who need it. Growth, change, and achievement take nerve and action. Your vision can and will be accomplished if you keep asking. I pray for the perseverance to accomplish my goals. I trust in your power to provide matching resources to serve my visions as well as others. My dreams are good, and the universe supports me in attaining them. I said attending. So what do you feel like you got out of that, Malcolm? What does the word perseverance mean to you? Do you know that?
To keep going and not stopping.
Good one. Exactly right. Perseverance. That's a really important thing for everything, right? What do you think, Malcolm? Did you get anything out of that? I want to hear your words. It's okay. Anybody else?
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Keep pushing forward.
And, it's our own negativity. I can't, I'm not enough, I'm not worth it, or the goal isn't right, or whatever it is, or other people are poo-pooing my ideas. Yeah, that all is that outside stuff. Your very first intuition, I always call a God voice, right? That's our innate intelligence, the spirit within saying, hey, let's do this. This is what you're meant to be. If we poo-poo that or put it in the back of our mind, say it's not right, we're not living up to our fullest potential. We're not doing what we're meant to truly be doing in life. And I feel I am doing my best daily to do what Spirit has guided me to do. Sometimes I feel like I don't know if I can get up to do it today. You came to one of our big events where we got a lot of backlash from pastors that were afraid to show up there and someone would see them because the whole thing was about, some of it was about vaccines, right? They were scared. What if someone sees us and they don't want to come to my church anymore? I mean, literally, that's what pastors were saying. was bizarre, right?
That's right.
And all sorts of other people in the community. I like that, but I'm afraid. So we did it anyway. What do we really create? And I didn't let everybody know this because I don't let all my ideas out because so many people want to poo-poo them, right? But we were making a documentary. And now that documentary, instead of being seen by a couple of hundred people, could be seen by hundreds, thousands, millions, and many millions of people, you see. So the power of what we really created, if we just listened to fear, right, we would have had other problems. We wouldn't have been able to get this message out.
Fear is bondage.
Fear is bondage, false evidence appearing real. Okay?
Good one.
So, as we go through this journey, we're going through what we do is educate, we enlighten. What is enlighten? Really is take the burden off the world off your shoulders. We could say it's getting to reaching nirvana or touching God if we're different spiritual consciousness. But in reality, it's lightening someone's load. In the Bible, it says, release your yoke. That yoke, the oxen pulling the cart, right? That's the yoke around their neck. That strain of pulling through life, we release that yoke and listen to that spiritual consciousness and take that step forward. It's not necessarily easier, but we step in that path and it becomes easier as we go. So this one meant a lot, really, to me this morning because of our journey and the things that we have set forth in our life. And 2025 is actually going to be a huge year. It already is. My calendar is literally full. And from speaking engagements and teaching engagements and fundraisers and all sorts of things. So, pardon?
To go into Cuba.
Oh, in Cuba, speaking in Cuba, I can't wait.
Fundraising and then to go into Cuba.
Yeah, and teaching a seminar in February right after Cuba, 2 weeks after. Oh, what? No,
Isn't it spring break when we're going to do that? Oh.
we'll see. All right, let's open one up. We're going to read another page from Dr. Sid Williams. Most people waste much of their time on activities that contribute nothing of benefit to others or their own personal growth and happiness. They don't stay focused on a goal long enough to accomplish it. They hesitate and vacillate so much that they bore a hole in the ground where they are and never get anywhere. They sit at home watching television 6 to 12 hours a day, escaping into a fantasy land, and wonder why the real world is passing by them. They are just good old boys and girls who eke out a living, but leave nothing behind for them when they die but dust, debt, and bad memories. The person who tapped into the internal treasure of innate intelligence and who therefore knows where he wants to go, or she, and how to get there, will find himself or herself going through one achievement to another. He is enjoying his success while others spin their wheels on one dead-end side of the road after another. Once you're able to speak to yourself with absolute authority, that opens up your innate subconscious mind. Then, if you totally submit to it, believing your vision with all your heart, your innate subconscious mind will guide you to achieve your vision. This is the affirmation. I know exactly where I want to be. I know exactly what I want to do. I am aiming high. I can see my target in my mind's eye. I believe my vision with all my heart. I totally submit myself to the voice within. I let myself be innately guided. I express success. I am focused. I am committed. I am successful. I am achieving my vision right now, this moment. So we go back to the innate subconscious mind, right? When we're speaking to ourselves, I trust that voice within, and I am on the right path. Clues do start to come to you when you're on that path. And I have this string art that you asked me about the other day, and I was going to speak at Dynamic Essentials. I didn't have my talk ready, and I was a little scattered. We had a lot going on in our life, and I wasn't completely prepared, and that's not like me. I prepare. And I was in our coolest airport, Melbourne Airport, and Melbourne Airport is, there at that time there were only two things that they used for the airplanes, right? People didn't come in there and sell things. I'm from New York City. I'm used to people selling magazines and old stuff in the subway and the airport. They're selling it, and Hare Krishna's there and all sorts of stuff. And I go to the gate at the airport, and there was somebody selling old magazines, like old Esquire magazines and old, whatever. I don't even know magazines. I haven't read one in so long. But old used magazines and a couple of old books. Completely out of the norm for Melbourne Airport, our little town in Melbourne, Florida. And I thought, all right, I'll go look through these person's things. I don't know. And there was a book by Jim Sigafus, not by Jim Sigafus, but about shaman. And my other teacher, Jim Sigafus, always talked about his shaman, taught us from shamanism. And the book almost magically sucked to my hand. I kid you not. It went right to my hand. It was what I needed to see. It was brighter than everything else on the table. I was like, oh my gosh. I grabbed it, right? Never saw that person again. I've never seen another person sell another thing in Melbourne Airport. I've nothing. None of that besides the kiosks that actually sell. This was a folded up card table. It was really an angel in my mind, right? Now this string art, right before I went there, the day before, I was shopping in a department store, and I don't buy art in department stores. My mother's an artist. I have friends that are artists. I'd rather have their paintings, right? But something drew me to this area, and I was looking through the paintings, and it's, printed art. It was nice. But same thing happened. This was the day before I went to the airport. It was like almost this, and there's a string art, and in Self Center, Pasquale has this huge string art in the center, and I asked him, tell me about Self Center. And he pointed to the center of the string art. He said, this is Self Center. This is the center of the self. Each one of these strings is a rung on Jacob's ladder. We can't skip any of those steps, or we'll have to go back and do them again. In reality, that's what reincarnation actually is. Go back and relive it again until you get it right. And then there's each level within that spiritual consciousness and the center. It's not the outside. We don't move out. We move in towards God and that spiritualism, spiritual consciousness. And this was really only a couple of weeks after I just had left Brooklyn and hung out with Pasquale. But the string art's inside of a lucite box, glass, but it's plastic. It's lucite, which is a plastic that we use. And again, it was almost like it sucked to my hand because I'd always wanted one, like at Self Center, and I had to have that. And even better, it was on sale for like $5. You know what I mean? It had the clearance sticker on there. It was like, shut up and buy this and take it home. And you have that understanding and that consciousness. So that's what this string art on my wall behind me is actually about. Okay? That is the one. I also have the book. So if we allow ourselves to get clues from God, the spiritual creator of the universe, right? Then the world, it just becomes easier. There's less fight. There's less fear. And to me, I think it was one of the best talks I ever gave, but I got all the inspiration I need. I told these stories. They were life-changing to me. They were grounding, if anything. And this is what I felt. As soon as I found this, you're on the right path. It was a message I felt in my heart at that moment. You're on the right path. You're on the right path. Keep going. Mm-hmm. So we're on the right path. Mm-hmm. Keep going. All the mistakes we have made, thank God I made those mistakes. I wish they weren't so tremendous as they have been, okay?
But we learn so
we
much.
learn
from
so
them.
much, absolutely. We've learned from those mistakes. Thank goodness I made them. We pass on to our children, these are the big mistakes I made. Hopefully you don't make them. You might make bigger ones, right? You may make other ones. We have to make the mistakes. And I remember you in school, your teacher would say, it's okay when we made mistakes. That's what we learned from. You started learning that earlier, and I think that was such a blessing. So this is how I feel coming into Thanksgiving today. Of all this gratitude, I even feel like my voice has come down an octave.
Yeah.
You know, has it?
Yeah.
Because I feel grounded. Less of that earthly world blocking my voice. Pasquale used to call it a false membrane. It's very often we're talking from another dimension. It's not truly who we are. I don't know if you've ever woke up, you feel like you have your frog in your throat, right? You ever hear that term?
Sure.
Got to get this garbage out of us. The phlegm. And I'll go into that just a little bit more. Pasquale talked about the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland, pituita, it's either Greek or Latin, it's the root word of that, means the phlegm. The phlegm, the pituita. If we're speaking through our phlegm, it's just the garbage, it's old codes that we really want to get out. Get it out of us, right? So we've been living in the pineal gland as being the master gland for a very long time. In biology, that's what we call that. Anatomy of the master gland. It controls a lot of different things. It makes a lot of different chemistries in the body. But we're stuck in the phlegm. No one wants that. We want to get out of that phlegm and get to the pineal gland. The pituitary gland is that earthly world. That's the garbage we have to get through, right? I taught you early, spit that out. You don't want that. Get it out of you, right? But what we're working towards is getting towards the pineal. The pineal gland is the reason why they put fluoride in our water, is to calcify the pineal, to keep us, that's our spiritual antenna. The spiritual antenna. We don't really even know what the pineal gland does. And they say a lot of the old pictures of the Anunnaki and the old early artwork that we're finding, and they show the a pine cone, them inserting it into people's heads. It's a pine cone. Why is he sticking a pine cone in their head? Well, that's the pineal gland. The pineal gland, the pine cone, that's our spiritual center. That's how we connect to the spirituality of the cosmos, to God, right? The Buddhas, Christ, the higher spiritual consciousness people, they say we're working in their pineal gland. So that's why we want no fluoride on our water. It also causes cancer. So terrible things. That's why the only water we really try and drink is RO water, because an RO membrane will take out dissolved solids like fluoride. So that's what I got from our reading just now. But the consciousness of our spirituality, trust the spiritual messages, and then take action on them. Take action on them. And we're going through some tumultuous things, moving offices and building being sold and all those things for a gift. Thank goodness. Because we can make it work, but in reality, you need more. We need a bigger space. We really do. So I feel blessed today, and I feel very thankful. I feel thankful for all of you. I feel thankful for myself. Let's just say that. We can be thankful for ourselves. That I have two wonderful feet I can walk on. Sometimes they hurt, right? I've got clothes to wear. My joints are still mine, right? I have health, and I have an immune system to cure my colds and my flu. And I feel grateful to have a roof over my head. I was going to say hair on my head. I was kidding. But all this just grace to have a Christmas tree, to be able to have chairs to sit in, and thank God we have some food to eat. You know, so I just feel blessed today and thankful. Thankful for all of you. All right? Amen.
Thank God that we have anything to bless.
You're exactly right.
Yes.
Even if we didn't have any things, right? We have our family to bless.
That's right.
We have our life to bless. You know, when we when we do chiropractic mission trips, sometimes we go to very, very poor places. Poor in wealth. They don't have
Right.
much money. But you always see the kids laughing and having fun and people playing and enjoying themselves. We were at a place once in Mexico. I'm going to tell this story. Very, very poor people. The mother and father had, it was 4 sticks and just a little roof on top, all open, and a mat to sleep on. The kids were a little bit farther away, so they have a little privacy, and they had 2 hammocks, right? The kids were playing, had a wonderful time. Our car broke down. We were looking for somebody to help us. And, you know, the husband and wife were they were watching the sunset on top of a hill together, holding hands. And just, it was a romantic moment. Yeah. And we waited till the sun set. We're like, we didn't want to bother you. You know, you're having a nice time. And the man came and helped us with all his heart. He gave us the area where his kids would sleep and give us a place to sleep, drag the mat over, and he and his wife to sleep in I don't want to say dirt, it's the soil because it has life, right? And gave us his worldly possessions out of his heart. I can't tell you. I mean, as 3 grown men, we were just crying in that moment, right? Because he said, it's not good to drive at night. You have to stay here, and I'll give you the things that I value, that I've worked for. I couldn't sleep one single week that night, let me tell you. We felt more blessings than ever.
You're tearing up.
I'm tearing up right now, you're right. Exactly, because I could be in that moment, even though it was over 30 years ago. Well over 30 years ago, I think. So, you know, and it still warms my heart. That act of kindness from him and everything else, I mean, I tell you, it's like that rings through the rest of my life. Now we care for other people, and we have enough. There is no scarcity. That's made up. There is absolute abundance in this universe. The tree doesn't just make enough fruit to produce another tree. It makes an abundance of fruit for all the birds, the bees, the butterflies, for the humans, right? There's enough, and there's plenty. There's an abundance. There's so much that they fall to the ground, they also rot. But also the creepy crawly things in the earth also need that stuff. They need those nutrients. The roots need the nutrients, right? So everything has a beautiful cycle of abundance. Amen. So have a blessed Thanksgiving.
You know what they say about frogs?
No.
The letter stands for forever rely on God.
Oh, I like it. It could be a frog. I feel a little bad about getting rid of our frogs the other day.
I was in the hot tub and I saw 2 of them like staring at me like,
That's our hot tub. Mm-hmm.
Too funny.
They made the hot tub our home, so we had to get rid of some frogs.
Oh,
Have a beautiful
they didn't
Thanksgiving.
die. They just went away. They didn't die.
How about I'll say it quick before you go in there. Let's just say it, an amen at the end of this. You ready? All at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Amen. Good job.